Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If this is the very first time you've been here, yay, you're finally here. I'm so glad. I've been waiting for you. And if you're a returning subscriber, yay, thanks so much for coming back. Now, my subscribers already know that my goal is to save you time and money by giving you the scoop on filmmaking quality and content so that you can kind of know what to expect but without spoilers. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Paddington in Peru. This cute, family-friendly film released already in England in November, but doesn't actually release to the rest of the world until January 17, 2025. The film is rated PG. It's an hour and 46 minutes, and my overall movie review mom grade is an A. I thought it was pretty cute. So I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked, things I didn't like, tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, and then we'll finish up with recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also really like. But first, let me feature today's product, which is an adorable standing plush Paddington bear, where you can actually find it on Amazon. Click on the description below, and you'll find a link that'll take you straight to it. Once your kids watch this movie, they're probably going to want this. I'm just saying. So there's a heads up. All right, so in a nutshell, the darling Paddington bear returns to his homeland of Peru to visit his beloved Aunt Lucy, who now resides at the home for retired bears. With the Brown family in tow, a thrilling adventure ensues when a mystery plunges them into an unexpected journey. The adorable adventure was directed by Dougal Wilson as his directorial debut. So congratulations. Paul King had directed the two previous Paddington movies, but decided just to be an executive producer this time around. Writing credits go to Mark Burton, Jon Foster, and James Lamont. So one of my sons was traveling through South America recently, and so I was going to meet him in Lima, Peru, and then we were going to go up to Machu Picchu together, something that's been on my bucket list forever. Unfortunately, he got robbed after only 2 days in Lima, was a little bit traumatized by it, so we jumped on a plane and just flew home. And so I canceled my trip. So going up to Machu Picchu is still on my bucket list. Quick tips for parents. There is some Spanish spoken without subtitles, sometimes with. People and bears are in perilous situations. There is no profanity. Yay, that's always so refreshing. Everyone's faces look humorously horrified when a man lifts up his shirt. Although we don't actually see what they're seeing, we just assume that he's super hairy and it's just kind of a cute moment. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are embrace the risk, going home and exploring your roots, family is the most valuable treasure, trust, El Dorado, the famous one that many movies have been made about, greed, and reinventing your future and embracing the mixed parts of yourself. So here's the list of things I really liked about this film. First of all, the cast is fantastic and includes British favorites like Hugh Bonneville, Emily Mortimer, Imelda Staunton, Joel Fry, Haley Atwell, Antonio Banderas, Julie Walters, Jim Broadbent, and Hugh Grant, among others. See, fantastic cast. Academy Award winner Olivia Colman plays a suspicious and overly smiley sweet nun who is hilarious. I've been such a fan of hers for years, and I just love her in everything that she does. If I know she's going to be in the movie, I'll watch it. Ben Whishaw voices the charming Paddington and is a returning voice of that character. Does a great job. Paddington Bear is based on the spectacled bear, which is also called the Andean bear, the only bear species in Peru. Fun fact. There's so much spoken and visual humor in this movie. Similar to the first movies in this trilogy, there's a lot of slapstick physical humor. There are quite a few amusing details and even a respectful nod to the author of the Paddington book, Michael Bond, which I think is absolutely appropriate and sweet. We see his face on a stamp. So, if you blink, you might miss that moment though. We get to spend some time in Peru, specifically Cusco and Machu Picchu. They were actually filmed on the real sites. Because the country of Colombia offered some special deals to film there, most of the jungle shots were not filmed in Peru, but were done in Colombia. Now, I spent some time in Colombia and I was so impressed with its beauty. It is the number 2 most biodiverse country in the world, second only to Brazil. It's just gorgeous. So apparently the people in the film industry in Peru were not happy about that, as well as the fact that the retired bear home was actually filmed in England. Oh, well. So there is a lot of shenanigans and action in the movie as expected. Keep watching during the final rolling credits at the very end of the movie to see a cute scene when Paddington visits Hugh Grant's character, who was the villain in the 2017 movie Paddington #2, which I thought was such a cute touch. There's a lot of CGI with the bears. However, everything actually looks really good and believable in a whimsical way. And there's a cute, funny twist. Now, only a very small list of things that I didn't like or just thought could have been done better. For example, the movie is definitely better than the trailer. True Paddington fans are saying this is the weakest film in the franchise. I enjoyed it, so I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but comment down below. Let me know what you think after you see it. Academy Award winner Sally Hawkins decided not to reprise her role as Mrs. Brown, which was unfortunate because everybody loved her so much as that character. I thought Emily Mortimer did a fantastic job. She was sweet and supportive, and I thought she was great. This is the very first Paddington movie that does not include Mr. Curry, who was played by Peter Capaldi. There is quite a bit of exposition to explain past events and motivation of characters, and I'm just like, okay, show, don't tell. And then there's a tarantula, which is like, why did they have to use a tarantula? So gross. So whenever I watch movies, I write down the funny lines and the interesting lines that I hear simply so I can share them with you so you can get a taste for the script writing and dialogue in the movie. So one of them that I wrote down was a conversation between Mrs. Brown and Mr. Brown. So when Mrs. Brown sees the handsome Antonio Banderas's character, she says, "Oh, what a handsome," and then her husband, Mr. Brown, goes, and she says, boat, handsome boat," which I thought was just cute. Anyway, and then another one is Paddington is explaining this to somebody. He says, he's staring at somebody, he says, "It's a hard stare, and it's for people who have forgotten their manners and the important things." And he's all, but it's cute. Now, in terms of interesting lines, a bunch of stuff happens, and Mrs. Brown, Mary Brown, who's played by Emily Mortimer, she says, "What happens next?" And that's, of course, a question that could be asked in every scene. What's happening next? What is this adventure? What is the goal here? And what happens next in our lives? And that is part of the theme of the story is, you can't just always live the same way. Things change and you have to embrace change. And so I thought that was a good line that is spoken several times and in several ways to reinforce that theme of the film. So Madison, who is kind of a cameo, really, we don't see her very much, played by Haley Atwell from the Mission Impossible movie with Tom Cruise, and she's coming back for the next one in 2025. Anyway, she says all you have to do is embrace the risk, and that's a huge theme: fear versus being courageous and just doing that scary thing. And then the Reverend Mother, who's played so beautifully by Olivia Colman, says all it takes to light the darkness is one candle of faith. And you're just like, oh. All right. And then another interesting line is spoken by Mrs. Brown, or Mr. Brown, sorry, played by Hugh Bonneville. And he says, throughout this whole movie, while they're taking risks or deciding not to take risks, all of that, he says, some risks are worth embracing, but only if they're for the greater good and for the people you love. And I think that was a wise line to include, because the movie is not saying just go crazy and dive off of mountains and do crazy, dangerous things. He's saying be brave, but choose your risks wisely. And so that's a good message, hopefully, that the kids are going to take away. Now, whenever I watch movies, I instantly think of other films that are sort of similar that I want to recommend. So the first one is Jungle Cruise. It is a Disney movie that came out last year, I think. maybe the year before, and it's adorable. I got a kick out of it, and it's kind of an homage, not kind of, it is an homage to the Jungle Cruise ride in Disneyland. A lot of good fun. They're going off on an adventure to find a thing and a special item. And so it's kind of like Paddington in that regard. Another one that I thought of is Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, where it's also a continuation of the Jumanji movies in that franchise. I thought it was a lot of fun. Another one that has kind of a same vibe is Dora and the Lost City of Gold. Now, that is the live action movie based off of Dora the Explorer, the kids' cartoon movie from years ago. And I thought it was really cute. Again, adventures in the jungle. And then I thought of one more movie that is very different in the sense that it is more of an adult drama based on a true story about an explorer from England who goes into the jungle in South America, again, in search of discoveries and all of that. And it's very well done, but it's not a kids movie. It's not a laughing, fun movie like the rest of the ones that I just mentioned. But if you're in the jungle mood, then definitely check that one out. Hopefully you'll enjoy this movie. Let me know if you do. When you get a minute, go visit me all over social media. I'm listed as Movie Review Mom, but I'm also listed as Trina Boyce, which is my name, where you can learn about my 33 books that are for sale in bookstores and on Amazon, and my online courses and my products and my other shenanigans. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.